for tonight's game between the Summit Hilltoppers and the Livingston Lancers. Tonight is senior night for the Livingston Lancers, but first we would want to thank Summit and congratulate them on a great season so far, and congratulate their seniors as well. Livingston Lancer hockey team is having an outstanding season, but we want to thank all the parents, guardians, family members, and the student section of the Lancers for an amazing year so far. We look forward to an amazing conference and cup championship and state tournament. Celebrating their 4th year with our program. Let's first welcome manager Jamie Gertler. Jamie is a member of the parents' Jamie has been a part of the program since she was a freshman. She is undecided on where she is attending school yet, but she is planning on majoring in marketing. She is a part of the National Honor Society, Art Honor Society, English Honor Society, and History Honor Society. Jamie is the president of the People Helping People Club and is a member of the United Way Varsity Letter Club. Let's have another hand for Jamie Gertler. Our next manager, Alex Gertler. Also parents, Becky, and Kathy. Alex has been a manager of the program since her freshman year. She is involved with the World of Change Club, People Helping People Club, and the United Way Varsity Letter Club. She is a member of the English, Social Studies, and Art National Honor Society, as well as the National Honor Society itself. She is currently undecided about where she will be attending college next year, but she plans on majoring in psychology. Another hand for Alex Gertler. Our next senior honoree, Zach Turbin. Zach will be attending Tulane University and plans on majoring in biology. He's been playing hockey since he was 6 years old. Outside of hockey, Zach has kept himself busy volunteering at the Friendship Circle as a president, representing Livingston High School. Zach earned a 4.0 GPA, a 32 on the ACT, and is a member of the National Honor Society, as well as the English and History Honor Society. Zach will continue his athletics at Livingston High School, playing for the lacrosse program in the spring. Zach also wants to thank his mom for all the 5 a.m. practices she drove him to, his dad for all the pictures he's taken, and the fans for being the best fans in the state. Zach Turbin. Our next ice hockey player, Spencer Solomon. He's one of Spencer's mom, Stephanie, and head Jason. Spencer Solomon is undecided with his college decision. He has been on the ice since he was 4 years old, and he has loved every second of it. Spencer has played for the New Jersey Devils Youth Hockey Club for his entire 12-year hockey career. He is constantly volunteering for the Shining Stars program, an organization for disabled children, to participate in sporting events and holiday parties. Spencer lives for hockey, and his boys in front of him could not have asked for a better group to end his high school career with. Another hand for Spencer Solomon. Next ice hockey player. Let's have a big hand for Andrew Kwong. Andrew's mom, dad, lieutenant, and little brother Kevin. Andrew played hockey when he started at 8 years old. He plans to major in biomedical engineering in college. Apart from ice hockey, Andrew also plays the violin and volunteers at the St. Barnabas Medical Center in his free time. Andrew attained a 4.3 GPA and is involved in the National Honor Society, Science National Honor Society, and English National Honor Society. He would like to thank all his friends, family, coaches, teammates, and fans that helped him get to where he is now.
Make sure we're ready.
Another hand for Andrew Klein.
Sorry, I was in a race against the time. Sorry about that.
Our next speaker ice hockey player, assistant captain Danny Rosebard. Please welcome Danny's mom, Eliza, dad Steve, and sister Allie. Danny has been playing hockey since he was 10 years old. Not only has he been a member of Livingston Hockey for 4 years, but he also plays for the Colts ice hockey program, and his team will be representing the state of New Jersey at Nationals this April. Danny hopes to pursue business at either Penn State or Elon University. Danny will continue his athletics at Livingston High School, playing for the lacrosse team in the upcoming season. While Danny joined the team because of his love for hockey, the friendships and memories will be the lifelong things he takes with him from the game. Danny Rosebard. Senior ice hockey player, assistant captain Jason Dotz. Please welcome the family members on the ice. His dad Chris, mom Nicole, his sister Annie, and his brother Matt. Jason is a dual sport athlete for hockey and lacrosse, as well as captain for all sports. He is committed to Ithaca College for lacrosse. He will be majoring in physical science. Jason's volunteered his time with Row, helping to end hunger, poverty, and promote healthy eating, St. Philomena Church, being a counselor to homeless children, and has thoroughly enjoyed volunteering to push sled hockey for those with physical mobility impairments. Jason's advice for future players: do what you love and love what you do. Jason Knox. Final senior ice hockey player of the evening, Captain Austin Vecchio. Please welcome Austin's mom and dad, Anita and Tony, his sister Alex, and brother Anthony. Austin is a 4-year varsity hockey player and received second-team all-conference honors last season. He is also humbled to have been selected by his teammates as the 21-22 team captain. Austin has been accepted to the mechanical engineering program at the University of Delaware, which is one of his top choices, where he hopes to continue his love for hockey. In his life outside Livingston High School, Austin has volunteered for many years with the Devils Youth Sled Hockey Program, the Holy Trinity Food Pantry in West Orange, and the New Jersey Community Food Bank in Hillside. During his limited downtime, Austin can be found jamming at home on the family piano or hanging with his girlfriend, Catherine, his older siblings, Alexandra and Anthony, lifelong friends, and of course his golf asset. Austin would also like to especially thank his parents for all their time and dedication they put into his life. This season to date has been the most rewarding and fulfilling experience of Austin's high school years, and he thanks his teammates, managers, coaches, and the loyal Lancer fans who also share in their hunt for excellence. Austin Vecchio.
The North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute is the preferred practice for diagnosis and orthopedic treatment in New Jersey. From the moment you become a patient in our practice, our experienced team supports you until your full recovery with education, compassion, and understanding. Our focus includes sports injuries, as well as the treatment of a broad range of orthopedic complaints, from common tendon ailments and arthritic joint pain to traumatic injuries. Our facility offers an on-site physical therapy suite. In conjunction with specifically designed exercise programs, non-invasive and advanced healing technology, we can not only address the current injury, but also find the underlying cause, such as muscle weakness, imbalance, or improper form. We also offer non-surgical modalities, such as platelet-rich plasma injections, which can lead to an accelerated recovery. To provide efficient and excellent care, personal interactions and individualized attention for each patient is important. We are committed to create a protocol that can eliminate similar injuries in the future. At North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute, we are dedicated to providing the highest standard of care and comfort of athletes, including patients with non-related sports injuries. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist Dr. Michael Rusinella utilizes non-surgical and minimally invasive surgical procedures to help patients regain back their quality of life.
Those were your senior night festivities for the Livingston Lancers here at Cody Arena. Thank you for joining us here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network. Second game of a back-to-back doubleheader McInnes Division matchup. First game was the West Essex Knights playing the Nutley Raiders, and now we have Livingston Lancers, Summit Hilltoppers next here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network.
He's going to take it himself for a championship! A double play, Winston with great turn it to the end zone. What a catch! The Coyotes on touchdown!
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Volusia wins it! The championship!
Welcome back to Cody Arena as we just saw our senior night festivities for the Lancers and wait for teams to re-enter the ice for warm-ups, as they will momentarily. While we wait for that, Ryan, let's talk about our goaltending matchup.
Well, Jacob, I think first it is safe to say that the Turbinator in net is unstoppable. Turbin has had a phenomenal year. You know, it's kind of hard to discuss as now Livingston makes their way onto the ice. It's really hard to talk about who's the best ice hockey goaltender in the state and in the McInnes division on its own. You know, he's challenged by a lot of players. Jewett is back. I mean, the chef is cooking in net, but the Turbinator is an absolute tank, and I know I'm very excited to see him today. So he's our goaltender for the Livingston Lancers. And of course, we're talking about for the Summit Hilltoppers, Stephen Louisel, only a freshman, a career .883 save percentage. This season, the same percentage of .883. Played, excuse me, he has played roughly 10 games. I am very excited to see him in net today.
Yeah, last time we saw the Summit Hilltoppers, me and you, Ryan, we saw Ryan Cohen, who put up a good performance, enough for the victory against the West Essex Knights, who played in the previous game against the Nutley Raiders. You can watch that on the on-demand function of the D1 Media page of the NFHS Network. But soon we have the Lancers and the Hilltoppers, and this should be a great battle. Teams one spot apart in the McInnes Division standings. Hilltoppers 3, Lancers 2. Speaking of that, Ryan, Lancers move down from 1 to 2.
Jacob, I have to say this. This just makes it more exciting. Livingston the better record, but Westfield has been on a torrent. They have been winning games left and right. Those two teams will take each other on in just a week's time. I'll be on the call for that one with you. I am very excited for that one. I will tell you though, Westfield and Livingston have been absolutely the story of public school hockey this year.
Yes, they have. I mean, the McInnes Division, arguably the best public school division in the state of New Jersey, and no one in that division has been better than the Westfield Blue Devils, and the Livingston Lancers.
And the last time these two teams played, you can check it on the on-demand function. I was in the call with Coach John Hay. It was a late weekday game. Livingston up 3-0 in the third period. The ice breaks. Westfield makes a comeback. They've only added pieces, and they've only added dominance since then. Their goaltending tandem has just been phenomenal. Everything from defense to offense has been on par with the Livingston Lancers. Livingston, the better record, the better state ranking, but Westfield, the first seed as of right now, coming into the McInnes Cup, which is in just 2 weeks' time, as predicted.
Yes, it is. And if you look at in-division records, Ryan, 8-0-2 for the Lancers, 9-1 for the Westfield Blue Devils.
And that one loss, Jacob,
against
the Lancers. I mean, wow, we said that on par at the exact same time. I know that's the game we're both looking forward to. But Livingston Senior Night Hockey versus the Summit Hilltoppers. I've said this, Summit is on an absolute run, Jacob. They are just really sneaking in. If you take a look at their recent time, let's take a look at this. They have only one loss in 8 games. They're coming off of a 6-2 win against Glenrock. Livingston couldn't beat Glenrock by that much. But you know who could? The Summit Hilltoppers.
Yeah, definitely one of the more underrated teams in the McInnes division. There's a reason they're number 3 in the state, only behind the Blue Devils and the Lancers. And the Lancers won the first meeting between these two teams 3-1. That was in Summit's home rink. Now the Lancers are playing in Cody in front of their loud home fans. They're hoping to sweep the season series against the Hilltoppers.
Now, Jacob, I think if we take a look at the schedules, I think Livingston's most prowess victory, of course, in terms of score, was Princeton. But I think it's also a game that they actually have to be really happy about winning, because Princeton is winning games left and right. Only one other loss they had this year. Princeton might sneak into the top 20 and might be one of the dominant forces in this year's state tournament. So Livingston has to keep an eye on Princeton again and use that 19-0 win as just a remembrance that they will be taking on a tougher team as they continue on this season. So I think Livingston's most prowess victory was probably them, in fact, of the Princeton Little Tigers. For Summit, oh my goodness, they've taken down some phenomenal teams this year. I think we got to take a look at their tie versus Middletown South as, you know, just an absolute wowie. That's just phenomenal. But I mean, talk about that 10-0 win against Johnson and that 6-2 win versus Glenrock. Johnson, obviously, you know, not the toughest competition, only one win on the season, but 10 goals. That's their biggest win of the season. And 6-2 versus Glenrock, the defending McInnes Cup champions. That's huge. Livingston, in their second time playing them in back-to-back, they also had a victory against them. So these two teams, a common foe against the Glenrock Panthers.
Yeah, last weekend, back-to-back days, back-to-back games against those Glenrock Panthers. Played here at Cody Arena. Ring 2 actually was that game. That was a 3-3 tie here again at Cody Arena. You can find that on the D1 Media Pro Page YouTube channel. Technical difficulties of that one, so it's on the YouTube channel.
We won't get into the technical difficulties of that one.
Second game was in at the Ice House, Ryan, and that was a 2-0 Lancers victory.
Now, Jacob, these two teams met earlier in the season at Warren Echo to a 3-1 victory for the Livingston Lancers. No scoring in the first period. Second period, Silva got it started. Vecchio added on. Steele tore it down to just 2-1, and then Vecchio icing on the cake. We can credit assists that game to Vecchio, Tarasuk, Dox, and Grossbard. Obviously, for Nathan Steele's goal for Summit, the lone goal of the game, Paul Rubenstein and Dylan Goldfarb with the assists on that one. Livingston screamed, it was all us. Summit only squeezed the goal in there. But I mean, let's talk about our player to watch today. And I think for the Livingston Lancers, Jacob, I want you to tell me more about the player that was just highlighted, you know, today during senior night. Not only as just a great hockey player in net, but just as a great and overall amazing person to his community. That is the great Terminator in net, Zachary Turbin.
Zach Turbin, lights out all year long. 943 save percentage this season, Ryan. 5 shutouts in 13 games played. It does not get better than that. You can make an argument that he is the best goalie in this McInnes division, and there are a lot of really good goalies.
I think you can make an argument he's one of the best goalies in Livingston hockey history as well. The kid's just phenomenal. I mean, you can't stop him. He scored in conference hockey. I think that he probably could play college hockey if he wanted, but obviously that was not his decision. He's going to Tulane. And let's talk about the Summit Hilltoppers. There's been a player that has been, pun intended, stealing victories for the Hilltoppers. That's Nathan Steele, wearing number 10. Only a sophomore forward, a future he has. 10 goals on his career, 10 goals all this season, 14 assists on his career, 14 goals this season, 24 points this year, 24 points this season.
Yeah, he has been a big factor for the Hilltoppers, Ryan. No question about that. But him and Dylan Goldfarb, who is really having his true breakout season as a junior, have both been leading the way. I think a parallel for Goldfarb on the Lancer side will be Dylan Schultz. Had the slow first couple seasons, really truly is breaking out this year with 20 points in just Lancer's 18 games. Another thing I want to bring up as we had a minute left prior to the start of this game. Senior night, they mentioned Austin Vecchio heading to Delaware University. Guess who else went to Delaware University, Ryan?
I'm going to guess the head coach.
That is correct.
How'd I know?
Head coach Dave Conklin, actually a Delaware Hockey Hall of Famer.
Well, you know, I can tell you, there might have been some connection, there might not have been a connection, but what a coincidence that is. The captain of this team is going to play hockey at the same school that a storied head coach who's been here for 15 years is a Hall of Famer. That is really, really, really special. Kudos to Austin Vecchio, and of course, a big congratulations to head coach Conklin, who I think record-wise has coached his best season in his career.
Oh yeah, no question about that, as we have 10 seconds to go until warm-ups will expire and we hit the start of this game. Team's wrapping up.
Now, Jacob, what I want to say, attendance-wise, Livingston has always outdone themselves here at Cody Arena. They've utilized the space to their fullest potential. I feel like we're packed in here because that's how many people they've brought, because this is probably by far the biggest attendance they've brought this season. They're really supporting their seniors, the number 9 team in the state of New Jersey, which actually brings me to the top 20 teams in the state of New Jersey, Jacob. And as we're talking about the top 20 teams in New Jersey, it is very impressive to see how the McInnes division has done, just really how public school teams have done this year. Obviously, Livingston, number 9, not too far back. We see at number 10, Westfield.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Westfield in this
Excuse me,
pregame.
11 Westfield.
Talked a lot about Westfield in this pregame. They are facing the Lancers next Saturday. We will be there for that game. But right now, Lancers, Hilltoppers, this will be another great game as both teams get lined up for the Pledge of Allegiance. It's handed off to the local PA announcer here at Cody Arena for your nation's colors.
Good evening once again, and welcome to West Orange, New Jersey for tonight's hockey game against Summit Hilltoppers and your Livingston Lancers. Would you please rise, put your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
This McInnes Division Ice Hockey at Cody Arena. Senior night for Livingston Lancers. Summit Hilltoppers, Lancers, getting by their benches, putting their helmets back on.
Jacob, as both these teams have asserted themselves as over 500 this year, as we keep going, the games mean more and more, and I think Summit would, no doubt about it, really be that propelling, scary team in the McInnes Cup. But if Livingston wins, it only tells us more how exciting that Livingston-Westfield game is going to be next weekend.
Oh, for sure.
Special thank you, of course, to Miles Dax and Sam Shane Brown today on camera on the T1 Media Club page on the NFHS Network. I'm Ryan Lowry on color today, joined with Jacob Gorin doing play-by-play action for you. the D1 Media Page on the NFHS Network. It's your top way to watch all high school athletics at the highest of levels. The NFHS Network, the best way in all of the nation to watch high school athletics. I'll tell you, Jacob, it's definitely worth the money because games like these are what count.
Ryan, Livingston starting all seniors tonight. Solomon, Vecchio, Grossbard, Doc, Quan, Turbin. Let's get started here at Cody Arena. As the Lancers win the faceoff back with Grossbard, played ahead, right to Austin Vecchio. They're getting moving right away. Vecchio shimmies to the outside, controls, centers in front. Ooh, Solomon there, mixing up the usual lines. I'm assuming just for the start of the game, Ryan, for senior night. Wanted to start all seniors. Usually the third member of this line with Grossbard and Vecchio is the freshman, Igor Tarasuk. As it's played to the wall, Grossbard, high slot. Solomon had it knocked off his stick and controlled now by Lowry. Jake Lowry fighting Quan. Quan winds it the other way. Docks to Vecchio. Vecchio controls off the stick of Quan. Quan will chip it in, and there goes Tarasuk. Again, for now, playing on the line with Schultz and Silva. Schultz and Silva having great years. Silva, 21 points, 11 goals. Schultz, 6 goals and 20 points. Breakout years for both of them. As the shot is sent in off the blocker of Turbin.
It's a good start for Turbin, as we've said, Jacob. One of the top goalies in the state of New Jersey. Debatably the best in McKinnis. Spilled with talent.
2-on-2. As sent towards the goal. Rebounds loose. They score! An early goal for the Lancers! And it's Igor Tarasuk with his 9th of the year to put them on top early.
Igor Tarasuk, Jacob. The Lancers are getting senior night started on a bang. All seniors on the ice for that one. A good start. We're barely 2 minutes in. We aren't even 2 minutes in. And it's 1-0 Lancers.
Yes, we are an early good start for Livingston. Sent in, Solomon checked along the wall. Now lines are back to their usual selves with Solomon joining Silva and Schultz.
Well, Jacob, if you're Conklin, you're taking a risk of messing up the lines for the special occasion. And, well, you know, it really worked out. 1-0. Wow, a big one for the Lancers. So it's 1-0. Now we have a face-off on the top right of your screen.
Draws one back by the Hilltoppers. Collected behind the net by Lowry. Couple set of twins, or at least brothers on this team, Ryan. You got Jake and Jordan Lowry and Pat and Andy Lamello. As we have an icing. The early start for the Lancers, Ryan. Goal, Tarasuk from Dylan Schultz.
Right, and Jacob,
And Jack Silva.
it's been a night of playoff football, but it's also been a night of senior night hockey. This place has been absolutely packed with fans. We love the energy, can't complain one bit.
Sent ahead. Lost by Sears. Sears gets it back. Docks sweeps it to the side. Jace Docks holding on the backhand. Or send in one-handed before getting checked along the wall. Picked up now by Drew Goldfarb. Delayed offsides for Lancers. Will have to tag up, and they do. Sent back, Tarasuk. Back ahead, Lumello. And he'll chip it in deep. To top. The other Lumello rebounds loose, side of the net. Oh, I tuned on that didn't go in. Goldfarb was there. And now Doc stuffs it into Turbin's pads. Tells him, cover that puck.
Well, the Lancers, that was a mixture right there of good luck and mispositioning. And they were able to get the benefit of the doubt and keep that score at 0. Obviously, Vecchio checking out, but that's a tough break.
And Dylan Goldfarb had a yawning cage, Ryan. Just couldn't put it in. As it's collected in here, Solomon pokes it a little too far. Lowry to Schultz, he'll sweep it in. Andy Lamello. Sends ahead. And back in by Conklin. Brett Conklin's son of Livingston, longtime head coach Dave Conklin, as the puck is sent out of play. So offenses don't face out for the Lancers.
Jacob, the Lancers really putting on the pressure early, you know. I thought that this was going to be a game where it would be tough for Livingston to start, because somebody's really been exploding as of recent off the whistle. They've been a team that's really asserted their dominance within the first couple minutes, but Livingston's been doing the exact same thing, and they, in my opinion, are probably the best team in the McInnes, although the McInnes might not say it. State-wise, though, it is definitely confirmed they are the McInnes' #1 team.
They are, according to the NJ.com state rankings, has a nice move to get by Riggin. Riggin on an odd man rush, shoots, save, rebounds, loose Turbin, says no!
Little extracurricular activity.
Good opportunity on the odd man rush, Ryan. Mason Rushmeyer, Matt Riggin got a couple whacks at it. Zach Turbin held on and made a great stop with 11:24 remaining in the first period.
So Jacob, we're already getting well into the excitement of this one. We're not even 5 minutes into the first period.
Yeah, a couple penalties. Mason Rushmeyer, Ryan Zales heading to the box.
Nonetheless, we'll play 5-on-5.
Yeah, coincidental minor, so we will play at 5-on-5. Winded around to the other side. Dox turned over. Dox got it back. Swept not out by Grossbard. Tarasuk tries to chip it to Grossbard. Can't get positioning. And now it's Sears. Leaves. Wrister blocked. That was Chris Magovern. Lowry. And deep. Magovern to the top. Wrist shot from the point. That was taken by number 9, Dan Flame. Rebounds in front. And that goes wide of the net. Lancers can't get it out. They will right now. Just barely. Hilltoppers take it back in. Vecchio pokes it by. He can fly when he has his wheels on. He's vroom vroom. Vecchio. Wrister off a skate. To the top. Dox chips it. Poor pinch. Collected by Silva. Zach Silva, who I would call Lancers breakout player of the year, Ryan.
Yeah.
He's dangerous every time he touches the puck. Solomon on it now. Lets it one fly low. Patted away by Louis Zell.
And Jacob, talking about the dangers, I don't really think there's one player on this Livingston team that you could really consider a liability by any means. They all are very strong.
That takes a hop, stays in play. Went off Lamello. To the top. Conklin lets one go. Pad save. Rebounds loose. Schultz had a chance to get a whack at it. He could not get a stick on it though. Gus Chong. Fended off well by Kwan. Turned over. Schultz stays low with his center of gravity to fight off a couple checks. Couldn't fight off the third one though. As it's played out where Dox controls. Stolen off his stick. And ahead where it's Lowry. Took a funky bounce and now Tarasuk. Tarasuk turns it over. Sears. Back end deep. Vecchio fighting for it behind the net. He's thrown to the ground. And across. Wrister by Magovern is off a skate. Chipped ahead, not out. Tarasuk, nice job. Chips ahead even further. Igor Tarasuk tries to get his body positioning right. Couldn't quite get to the forehand. Great opportunity there for the Lancers to double their lead.
Tarasuk just couldn't sneak it in there. He got everyone on their feet, but it's just pushed off the puck.
Danny Grossbard lets one go far side wide of the net, past the glove of Louisel to the top. Kwan shot blockered away. Docks back in deep. Shamshashvili. Solomon fighting for it. Unique trio out there right now. Ryan is just not getting back on side was Gus Chong. 7:59 remaining now.
Well, Jacob, they've cleared the penalty boxes. Everyone's back to normal. And I'd like to say that Livingston really just cracking quickly with the puck. They're not taking their time to put the shots on.
That would be correct, as Conklin can't get it out. Sent ahead, Rushmeyer. Riggin on the puck, back to the point. And across, Magoburn, wrister, ooh, took a deflection. Didn't go. Ryan, I wonder Shalva Shamshashvili is playing. So Silva on this line. I'm not sure if that's time reapplication. Not something to note.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on as we progress through. With 7:16 left to go here in the first period. And well, Jacob, Livingston, their lines, as you said, look at a little different. They started with all seniors to congratulate their senior class on just phenomenal contributions. I mean, last year was probably the best year the Livingston had in a long time. They were able to make the finals. I remember that year was very special.
Yeah, this, I think they can go even.
Yeah. I mean, this year, the sky's the limit. They can go all the way to the Prudential Center. There's actually a state tournament.
Suit to the top. Docks just able to hold the zone. To Semser. Now Magover. He's grooving up ice. Sears. Dangles, ooh, can't get by. The last man there, Tarasuk, who will try to shovel his way by. He cannot. Big hit there by Grossbart.
Can't get away with that one, I'm afraid. That's a penalty.
We're going to have a penalty, though. Roughing.
9.997 times out of 10. That's a penalty, Jacob.
Yeah, it is. As the Grossbart just bully Drew Goldfarb there.
Hey, he's trying to have fun. That was a hard hit. I mean, if you're Summit, you got to be a little shooken by that one. Wow, a hard hit. And as you said, Livingston, they're a team that really built themselves away from the checks. They know how to avoid checks better than any team in the state of New Jersey, possibly.
And they know how to lay the body as well.
Yeah.
As the Hilltoppers now on the power play. Behind the net, Riggin, LaMelo. Goldfarb, LaMelo, shot off a stick and wide. The other LaMelo, Andy, I'm sorry, collects it at the point. Goldfarb, LaMelo, shot off a stick in front. That was the stick of Will Klein. LaMelo, Goldfarb, LaMelo, back to Goldfarb, lets it go, blocked by Vecchio and out.
Good little pressure push there by Summit. About 70 seconds left to go on their power play.
Austin Vecchio putting his body on the line there. That's what you want to see from their captain.
Yeah, Vecchio, one of the reasons why I think he was inducted as the captain by his teammates, he's one of those players that will do anything for his teammates in both sports he plays.
Taken by Lowry, or Goldfarb, I'm sorry. Magover, down low, back to the point. Wrist shot, took a redirection. It's all started, Ryan, because of a little miscommunication between Vecchio and Conklin.
Right.
Goldfarb, down low, high slot, blocked. Good setup from the Hilltoppers, denied by the Lancers. Vecchio's been out there for a while, basically this whole kill. High slot, they score! Perfect setup, perfect pass, perfect goal. And it's Jake Lowry to put the Summit Hilltoppers on the board. and tie this game up at 1 with 4:47 to go.
I think Grossbard might be sleeping with the cold shoulder after that one. A tough hit that he took there, and someone's able to just poke their way into the net.
Yes, so it is a tie game now. Lions shuffled up a bit here. Grossbard, Cassesi, and Silva. Docks. Trip, no call. Grossbard fires one high and wide. Silva couldn't get a stick on it. Tried to lay the body there. Rischmeyer taken away by Juan. Cassesi.
Jacob Cassesi, a player who actually scored a goal in the Lancers' victory not too long ago. Is this one actually covered up? I'll hold my thought.
Against Governor Livingston, a team they tied to 1-1 a couple weeks ago. Last week, took home the victory 5-2.
Yeah, that was huge. A big win they had there. Anyway, reverting to my statement, Cassesi with a goal against Governor Livingston.
Covered off the draw. Vecchio gets a ton of ice time, Ryan, and it's well deserved. 32 points on the year for him. 16 goals, 16 assists. Would not be surprised if he is named first team All-McInnes as Grossbard takes it to the outside, sends it in deeper. Tarasuk couldn't control. Now charging in his Goldfarb. He's shoved up the puck by Zales. Goldfarb is checked off the puck viciously by Jace Docks. He's the guy that really likes to lay the body, Ryan. Tarasuk to the outside, lets one fly. That's a whistler wide of the net. Conklin picks it up. Conklin fires off the shoulder of Louisel. Lowry, the goal scorer for Summit, couldn't control. Solomon.
Now Jacob Solomon, a player who spent, Jacob Solomon, a player who spent actually the beginning of the year on the injured reserve, came back, made an immediate impact.
Oh yes, he has been great this year. 6 goals, 9 points, on a fire recently.
And Lowry looks like he's sneaking towards the sin bin. Yep, that's what he'll be doing. So until the penalty box for 2 minutes on a minor.
Yes, you hear that "you can't do that" chants from the Livingston crowd.
So it looks like we have a little student section war right here, Jacob. A war on 2 fronts, on the ice and in the seats.
Yeah, fans going back and forth, but Livingston on this power play hopes to be as successful as Summit was on theirs.
And Jacob has
stuffed it to the side of the net. Sorry, Ryan. Shot, and that was buried on a wicked wrister upstairs by Danny Grossbard, make it 17 on his fantastic season.
Wow! That goal was brilliant. Grossbard, 17 goals. And he's got the student section all fancied up. Livingston taking the lead right back.
Ryan Lowry tried to leave the box after those 10 seconds, but he didn't know that was a 5-minute penalty, so the Lancers will continue to have a power play.
We didn't know either.
We did not.
We were told 2 minutes. Wow, that's huge. Livingston still 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the power play. They have a 2-1 lead to resume this one. Wow, that was huge.
They will have a power play time bleed into period number 2. As Vecchio regathers his troops behind the net. Took 10 seconds for the Lancers to capitalize on a bullet off the stick of Danny Grossbard. Team leading 17th of the year now. What a senior year for him. Shot by Doc, short side off the side of the net. Fooled a couple Lancer fans. Vecchio at the top. Wrister sails wide. Juan checked along the wall. No penalty call. Vecchio able to hold. Fakes a shot. Wrister attempt blocked. Limping to the net, or to the bench, was Pat Lamello. Quan sees it deflected in by Schultz. Lowry can't get it out. Grossbard fighting along the wall. Lowry getting a stick on it now. That's Jordan Lowry. Grossbard. Backdoor. Oh, and a great stay by Luizel. Silva with a chance. Looked like he had an open net. Vecchio lets one go off a stick in front. Silva couldn't control, took a funky bounce. Odd man rush shorthanded. Easily saved by Turbin. Good defensive stick by Schultz as well.
Not a job handling that one. Turbin has had a phenomenal year, Jacob. And we talk about his save percentage coming into this one. It's just been absolutely brilliant at 9-12. I think
943.
Excuse me, 943.
912 career.
Yes, 9-12 in his career. Thank you. My apologies on that one. But it's really interesting to see who is the #1 goaltender in the McInnes division. You know, this argument can last weeks.
So Ken Jewett, Shane Cook, who Livingston saw firsthand. The chef.
And as we say, Jacob,
He's always cooking.
Yeah, he's always cooking. He works at a busy restaurant like Peter Luger's. He never really works at a restaurant with no customers. He's always busy, that cook. Hard to say, that chef.
Vecchio couldn't control, so back to collect his docks.
Now, Jacob, this power play will automatically move into the second period for the Lancers, so that must help them.
Yes, it will. They will still have a full 2 minutes on the clock on this power play. Vecchio sails one ahead off the stick of Silva, so no icing. Cleared all the way down. 30 seconds left. Vecchio will regather his troops once again. Vecchio looking up ice. Inside. Back to Quan. Quan gets it on goal. Rebound was in front there for Silva. Couldn't get a stick on it. 10 now on the clock. Quan has to get something going. Vecchio looks at the clock, takes a shot, blocked. So that will do period #1. Lancers lead with a 2-1 lead thanks to a late power play goal from Danny Grossbard. We'll be back for the second period shortly.
Screen pass, out in the flat, caught, and it's a touchdown for St. Peter's. O'Donnell swinging away, puts it over the shortstop's head. That's a base hit, it'll score 1. Faraz on his way home. Throw is not in time. Going quickly, Bullock takes the snap, throws to the far side, wide open, touchdown. In there, called strike 3 looking. Mulcahy strikes out the side. He's perfect through 2. Now up ahead for the Marauders. Here comes Bigwitz. They score! Michael Benkovitz for St. Peter's Prep. Bounced on the ground to short. Faraz Fields flipped to O'Donnell 1. Throw on to first in time for a double play. We'll look back out there for the Marauders. He takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Has a man. And he scores. Reels it in. 35. Stick on to defenders. 2 on to the 20. Once again, hit in the air to deep center field. Sicka moving on the back at the wall. It's gone! Ellis Reed with a 2-run blast. And the Marauders have a 6-0 lead.
St. Peter's Prep has the best coverage for its student athletes. Why don't you?
Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports marketing or creating impactful sports content? You can get experience in high school by being a part of the RISE program powered by Ortho Carolina. It will give you a head start on an exciting career. The RISE program exposes students to industry professionals and gives them real-world experience by creating content and marketing the teams at their own high school. To find out how you can be a part of RISE, email us at contact@readinessandsportseducation.org.
One of New Jersey's premier high school basketball teams gets their coverage from D1 Media Pro, and it goes like this.
Finds Floyd to tie things up. Tie game! 62 apiece. 90 seconds. Floyd attacking and throws it down. Corey Floyd.
Missed opportunity down low, behind the back to Bueno and one. Lawrence with Floyd to lob it up for the slam. Too low for Dunn. Wilcher to Floyd, lays it in and one on the lob.
Thought about the three, drives baseline. Oh, what a start for Corey Floyd!
Here with Corey Floyd after a tough...
Wilcher, three, got it! Simeon Wilcher is fired up!
And Simeon Wilcher all alone with the flush. Out here with Simeon Wilcher. And a pass taken away by Marshall. And he'll throw it down. Tosses it ahead to Valencia. Serene driving and throws it down. He can't get around and a turnover. Corey Floyd has it. Step through lane and throws the basket. Cerrone here with Roselle Catholic head coach Dave Boff. Dave, you're coming up.
Now it's your time to join.
The North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute is the preferred practice for diagnosis and orthopedic treatment in New Jersey. From the moment you become a patient in our practice, our experienced team supports you until your full recovery with education, compassion, and understanding. Our focus includes sports injuries, as well as the treatment of a broad range of orthopedic complaints, from common tendon ailments and arthritic joint pain to traumatic injuries. Our facility offers an on-site physical therapy suite, in conjunction with specifically designed exercise programs, non-invasive and advanced healing technology. We can not only address the current injury, but also find the underlying cause, such as muscle weakness, imbalance, or improper form. We also offer non-surgical modalities, such as platelet-rich plasma injections, which can lead to an accelerated recovery. To provide efficient and excellent care, personal interactions and individualized attention for each patient is important. We are committed to create a protocol that can eliminate similar injuries in the future. At North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute, we are dedicated to providing the highest standard of care and comfort of athletes, including patients with non-related sports injuries. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist Dr. Michael Rusinella utilizes non-surgical and minimally invasive surgical procedures to help patients regain back their quality of life.
All right, this is Adam, take two. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Up the middle, barreling towards the goal line. Baldwin is in for a Vance touchdown.
Right down the middle, man. This guy, and he keep going, and he
the ball's loose.
And they hop back on it. That's a touchdown.
Short punt, bounces at the 35, fielded at the 40 by Quick, out to the corner. He's got blockers and a lot of green grass in front of him. Cuts back, he's in for a touchdown.
Swing pass in the flat.
Gets to the corner, he's going to get in the end zone.
Touchdown.
Good job, block. Third down and 17, a handoff, getting to the outside. There's a hole, there's a first down, and all the way to the races is Elijah McWilliams to the house for a touchdown and for an IMIC for a division championship.
Welcome back to Cody Arena for our first intermission report between the Livingston Lancers Summit Hilltoppers. Lancers up 2-1 thanks to goals from Denny Grossbard and Igor Tarasuk. Tarasuk opened the scoring. Jake Lowry tied it on the power play, and then late in the first period, it was Grossbard who made it 2-1 on the Lancers' own power play. Ryan, break it all down.
So, Jacob, I think that, in my opinion, instead of breaking it down, let's talk about what this is going to affect coming into the second period. Livingston is going to be up a man for 2 minutes. Even if they score, they're still up a man. So if they come into the second period with power, oh, this could be the end of the game.
For sure. Yeah, no question about it. Livingston had a problem early in the year with closing out games. They have since rectified that issue. So they need to hope to continue to rectify it. Build a lead in the second period and close things out in the third. Helps that they're taking the lead into the period instead of going in tied.
And Jacob, let's talk about our player of the period. Who would you say your player of the period is?
It's a tough one, but I'm going to go Danny Grossbar. Had that late goal, a bullet, Ryan, over the shoulder of Louiselle. He now leads the Lancers with 17 goals in 19 games.
How is going to bring that up? That's huge.
It's incredible. The seniors we're senior night, Ryan. Seniors have really stepped up this year.
And I was just going to say, it's always what I'd say is a good risk that a coach takes changing the lines, putting all the seniors out there to honor them. It not only worked out, it benefited them. Maybe an all-senior line is an investment.
Yeah, it ended up in Tarasuk playing with Schultz and Silva, Ryan, which resulted in the Lancers' first goal of the game.
That is good stuff, Jacob. A big start the Lancers had. Summit responded quite quickly, but it's a 2-1 game, Jacob. And we have the second period of action coming up next, right here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network. You don't want to go anywhere.
Over to Floyd, he's open, thought about the three, drives, baseline! Oh, what a start for Corey Floyd! Free throw line, tries to dump a pass off, gets intercepted. Freeman all the way to the hole. Oh, what a block by Moore! Left to play in the fourth quarter. Cromartie, three, got it! Davis probes in the corner, three-pointer, up and down, Brown again! His second straight three. Roselle Catholic in a hurry. Wilcher, back to Bueno. He's going to try and tie it. And he does! Oh, big shots all around!
He can't get around, and a turnover. Corey Floyd has it. Step through, lay in, build the basket!
Here's Kramer. Kramer walking in. Pass in front. They score! 5. Puck comes back out to the point. Gorski with a shot. And then they score! Slap shot from the point. Block the side. Here comes Ken Bishop. Walking in short-handed. He scores! Up ahead for the Marauders. Here comes Bigwitz. They score! Michael Benkovitz for St. Peter's Pep, and they lead it 3-2. The celebration is underway. The horn sounds, and the Glen Rock Panthers are the McGinnis Cup champions. But that's going to do it. The revenge tour is complete. The Don Bosco Prep Ironmen are the Gordon Cup Conference champions.
Heads up, right. Understood. Rock this took him and decreed him.
Horton. Horton dribbles into the front court to Khalil Whitney. Going to the basket and the jam.
With them because they are getting resources from the city. They are getting resources, and they're arguing with us about the timeliness of those resources.
We are back at Cody Arena, getting ready for period number 2 between the Livingston Lancers and the Summit Hilltoppers. It's been a great game so far. We broke down that first period, I'm sorry. So now let's preview this up in the second period. Ryan, let's take a look at what both teams have upcoming past that.
Well, go ahead.
Well, for the Livingston Lancers, they only have a few games left on their schedule. They play, obviously we mentioned, next Saturday, the Westfield Blue Devils. But before that, they play the Montclair on
Montclair Mounties.
Montclair Mounties on February 2nd, thank you, Ryan. And Mobeard on February 7th as their final.
They take on the Crimson again.
Yes, they 2 times they played the Mobeard Crimson this season. First time was a 4-3 thrilling victory here at Cody Arena. And they're going to wrap up their season.
I think they're going to win it out. I think they can. I think they got the talent for it.
Yeah, definitely do.
That win against Westfield secures the McInnes division, hands down.
That would make sense as players come back out of the ice for period number 2.
And for this red-hot Summit team, they take on a strong team within Hillsborough on the 1st of next month. Then they take on Morris Knowles 3 days later, another strong hockey program. Then they finish off versus Bridge on the 8th. That is 3 very tough games. So both these teams a lot to prepare for after this evening. So once senior night is over, Livingston right back down to business, which they already are in.
Yes, the Lancers have a game against a bottom feeder in the McInnes division, but a team that still don't want to take your eye off of in the Montclair Mounties, and for, of course, Blue Devils, Crimson, 2 top hockey programs.
Yes, Jacob, that is correct. The Crimson have been struggling. Fell out of the top 20, under 500 hockey programs. Jacob, this has been a very tough recent couple weeks for them, but once they build themselves up as a program, come playoff time, I'm certain they'll still be a power. And Westfield, they're first in the McInnes. They overtook the Lancers. The Lancers, we know they want it back. We know they could do it because they did it the first time.
A win here would propel them back to first in the division with a 9-0-2 divisional record. As teams get set, Lancers still 2 minutes and 1 second of power play time.
Well, Jacob, this is just a reminder, all you Gordon Conference hockey fans, puck has just recently dropped down at the Prudential Center, the practice facility, as Pope John is taking on the St. Peter's Prep Marauders. On the call, Ben Noble-Slovak. That is Gordon Conference hockey, as both teams will try and propel themselves up higher in the toughest conference of hockey in the state of New Jersey. On the D1 Meeple page on the NFHS Network. But McInnes hockey is the second best thing, in my opinion, Jacob, to Gordon Conference hockey. And the second period is just moments away. I'll be on the call alongside you.
Yes, and game being played over at the Devils practice facility. Devils not having their best season.
Hey, and Jacob, you know it used to be the practice facility right here.
Cody Arena. It's dead.
So high school hockey loves to shadow the Devils.
You could say that. Of course, you don't get games played in the main Prudential Center rink until you get to the state championships. And that's such.
Livingston has a case for that, in my opinion. A heavy case for it.
They definitely do. First, they need to get past the Hilltoppers, though, as they start here on the power play. Draws one back by Grossbard. All the way down, Quan will collect and leave for Vecchio. Still about 2 minutes left on the power play. Vecchio to Tarasuk. Quan controls over the line, tried to reverse it the other way. Puck is held in, sends across. Oh, Tarasu got an open net. Just put it wide. And now Kwan with trouble controlling the puck. Hilltoppers the other way. We have a delayed penalty coming up on Livingston. We'll have 4-on-4 carrying over into a Hilltoppers power play as it's touched up by the Lancers and heading to the box for holding. I believe, Ryan, will be Tarasu.
It was imminent that the Lancers touch that, Jacob, because then they can avoid the Summit power play for as much as possible. But that really kills that 5-minute major.
Lowry heading to the bench. He has a shoe untied, or a skate untied. So we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey.
That's Tarasuk, Jacob. And Tarasuk, only a freshman, 5'8", 150 forward. He's got a lot of talent.
Oh, a ton. There's a reason he's playing on the top line this year with Grossmark and Vecchio.
And he's already getting exposed to top-level hockey. He's playing for the 9th best team in New Jersey.
He will continue to play on the top line next year. My guess would be with Schultz and Silva. That's still a darn good top line, Ryan.
Justina Sanders will be the starting goaltender. A lot of talent he has. He's going to take the reins of the Turbinator. Lancer's still a good future to look at. You think they can really repeat these past 2 seasons next year? I think they could.
It's going to be tough with a lot of their top players graduating. Of course, Vecchio, Grossmark, Turbin, arguably their 3 best players, all graduating as the draws one back to the top. Rebounds loose in the crease.
Jacob, the question is,
not out.
Can Shalva, as well as Tarasuk, I mean, they're becoming sophomore and junior, take the spots, still with 1 and 2 more years left of eligibility in high school? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, Shemshkashvili definitely going to take a bigger role. Silva, a sophomore, and Ryan Zale is going to be heading the defense next year with Brett Conklin, who's out there now. Goldfarb to the outside. He's got speed, trying to work on Zales, but he turns it over. 2-on-2. Grossbard and Schultz. Schultz to the outside, lets one go, and it's into the breadbasket of Louiselle.
Talk about the Summit future, Jacob. A lot of youngsters on this team. We see some sophomores. We got a freshman of Gus Chong who's having a great year, a freshman of Keegan Sears who's having a great year, a sophomore within Jake Samir. This team is young.
Yes, it is a young Summit team that I think next year even could be atop of this McKinnon's division with teams like the Hilltopper, or seems like, I'm sorry, the Blue Devils and Lancers graduating a lot of the best players.
Yeah, and I mean, these 2 teams, Jacob, are going to be threats in the McKinnon's division for a long, long time. Relegation, not even hinting at their name.
Draws one back. Music has not stopped yet. Vecchio off the side of the net.
You know, I do suggest they turn down the music. There we go.
Having a little trouble with the music as it's carried ahead. Lamello, shot, saved by Turbin, sends back to the point. Magover. Stir save, rebound, score! Right through the 5-hole of Turbin, squeak through. Keegan Sears with his 3rd of the year to even the game. Ryan, fortunately for the Lancers, I bet you're going to want to say it's fortunate. That was right after their player exited the box. So power play is negated at least.
Well, Jacob, we're right back where we started, my friend.
Yeah, square score. Turbin not having his best evening, but
Livingston's on their feet. They're challenging that Summit crowd, and Jacob, we'll stay third party as the media.
Yes, we will have to stay even. Summit crowd is getting their cheering on.
I'll tell you what, numbers-wise, Livingston's done the best they've ever done this year, and they continue to impress me every game.
Fans happy to be back after not being allowed to watch last year. I asked Austin Vecchio how big it is to have these fans back prior to the season. He told me, obviously, it's a huge thing, having the energy of the fans back at Cody Arena. I don't think anyone could have anticipated the crowd Livingston has turned out game after game.
Livingston brings the fans to the games. That's what they do. Their student section is very enthusiastic, and they really love their hockey. I've always said this, Livingston loves hockey like any other school would love football. That's just the type of attendance they always bring and the energy they bring.
No question about that. Sent ahead. Off a stick, no. So we'll have an icing. Call Lancers. They want to get back in this game. They need to snag that momentum. Right now, Summit has everything going for them.
And Jacob, remember, there is ties in high school hockey in the regular season, so we unfortunately, as much as it's really unfortunate to say, if this game ends in a tie, we will not see overtime as there's a penalty. Vecchio flew to the ground, Jacob.
And we'll have an interference call, Ryan. Heading to the box is Jordan Lowry. So Lancers power play and a chance, Ryan, to regain the lead once again.
Jacob, this game has been the story of moving ahead off of the power play.
Yeah. 1-0 Lancers. 1-1 on a power play goal, 2-1 on a power play goal for the Lancers, and then 2-2 on a power play goal for the Hilltoppers. Kwan, nice job to control the puck. He's fought hard. High slot, Grossbart has a lane, fires, but it's held on to easily by Louiselle.
The Lancers just need to keep firing shots on. We've seen holes in this Summit defense so far. Livingston's just been pickling at him.
This is a goalkeeper in Louiselle who has not had the strongest season thus far. .883 save percentage in 10 games played. They're going to need to take advantage of that. Wrist shot score from the point! And into the back of the net, Austin Vecchio ties the team leading goals, 17th in the year for him. And the Lancers regain the lead once again on the power play.
Jacob, he's vroom vroom Vecchio not only with the skates, but with the stick. That wrist shot was so fast, the camera had trouble catching it. Wow, what a shot.
A laser beam into the top left corner. That's what your best players can do for you. That is what Grossbart and Vecchio have done on the power play. And that is the Lancers' second power play goal of the game. The fourth total power play goal of this game. Sends ahead, odd man rush. Oh, Reiser missing the net there off the stick of Grossbart, looking for 2 on the game.
I think he was trying to squeeze that one into a football field goal, Jacob.
Yeah, top shelf. Tipped off the stick of Tarasuk. The call and icing. Tarasuk looking at the ref saying, I touched that puck.
Yeah, that's what I saw as well.
Official is the one that makes the decisions, though. That's clearly not what he saw.
Yeah, indeed. And Jacob, we talk about this a lot, but do you really think Livingston can continue to propel past 9? I think they do have the chance. Northern Highlands since 8. Livingston keeps taking down these strong McInnes Division teams. I think with a win against number 11 Westfield, they can easily assert that.
Yeah, they went out the season against teams like Westfield and Mo Beard. And of course the Summit team that's been dangerous as of late. No question they can move up. Punishing hit! Laid by Spencer Solomon on Jake Lowry. Silva chips in, gets to himself behind the net. Continuing on is Zach Silva. Silva the other way. Zales wrister blocked, gets it back. Zales sends it on goal, sticked away by Louiselle. Summit banks it ahead. Down and out. We'll have an icing call with 10:53 left on the clock. Lancers talked about snagging back the momentum. Power play definitely has done that for the Lancers tonight.
Jacob, the pressure they've put on the power play has been phenomenal, and it just keeps improving every time we see them. You know, Friday they had an after-school practice at 1:30. You could really tell that's probably what they worked on was the power play, because it just continues to get better every game.
They were supposed to play this game Friday night. Penalty coming up again on the Hilltoppers.
This is Livingston's chance to punch their way even further.
Yeah, hooking. And the culprit is number 9, Dan Flame.
And there's those fresh 2 minutes. Guilty verdict. Summit Hilltoppers, Dan Flame in the box.
Draws one back by the Hilltoppers and sent all the way down. Goldfarb racing Vecchio for the puck. He'll get there. He has blazing speed. Juan collects. Tarasuk. He has speed up ice. A little shimmy along the wall to fend off the defenseman. Vecchio to the point. Possible penalty. We'll see what this is.
Waiting on to see what happened here.
I don't know what that whistle was, Ryan.
Yeah, not sure, but they reset. Sent in deep, possibly batted down with a high stick. Grossbart fighting for that puck, sent down and out. No icing, as it is the power play.
Vecchio. He's grooving until he runs into his own teammate, and Schultz will have to reset. Lancers had the momentum until they were forced out of their
Look at that chip pass too, Jacob.
Nice stretch pass. As the shot by Grossbart off a stick into the netting and out of play. Still 44 to go here on this Lancers power play and a chance to go up by 2.
Jacob, one thing we noticed too, Livingston's definition on the ice is incredibly impressive.
I'm sorry?
Livingston's definition on the ice, very impressive.
Yes.
Just their defensive coordination all the way up to the offense. You know, you can really tell everything's well planned out.
Tarasuk quarterbacking the power play now. Silva banks it in deep. Silva fires, blocked to the point. Tarasuk. Silva. Down low, Grossbard. Shimmies behind the net. Grossbard continuing on, circles, fires off a body in front. Conklin's the man there to provide the screen. Silva. Grossbard lets one go, rebounds there, and it comes to the point. Oh, Tarasuk went to the bench. Lancers could have held the zone there, but not for a miscommunication on the change. Sent ahead, Lumello. Lost an edge. Docks winds it around the other way. Solomon, back, shift ahead by Schultz to Silva. Schultz fires in. Stop behind the net by Louisel. And Silva almost strips Dan Flame of the puck. Sent ahead. Juan on the fight for the puck with Lowry in centering attempt. Another centering attempt. Oh, a couple chances blocked away by the Lancers. I don't think either of them got to Turbin. Lumello. Blocked. Sent into the corner by Turbin. Along the wall. Solomon. Taken here. Chase Docks. Banks it ahead to Tarasuk. He'll send it around past Louisel. Picked off by Vecchio. Collected here. Big hit there on Gus Chong.
Jacob, it's getting a little chippy, back and forth puck between the blue lines here.
Yeah, a lot of neutral zone activity, not sustained pressure on either side.
But Vecchio likes to use the shoulder as of recent.
Grossbart sends it on goal. Oh, rebound, sneaks into the corner. Vecchio trying to hold along the wall. He cannot. Rushmeyer. Off a skate and high. Riggin was defended well. Summit couldn't hold. Vecchio with Silva. Vecchio wires it high out of the net. Sent in deep past the stick of Silva. They'll regroup as Sean Wesson played it ahead. Zales to Conklin. Wesson turns it over temporarily. Collected as we have a stoppage in play. We'll see what this is.
.5:51 left to go in the second period, Jacob, and we've seen neutral zone hockey at the moment. Energy's starting to slow down a little bit. We've seen a lot of big hits from Vecchio.
We've seen big hits from this entire Lancers team. Solomon had a stick stuck in Steele's torso, almost resulting in a breakaway for him. Docks banks it ahead. Down. Icing is waved off. LaMelo. Ahead, tried to find Steele. LaMelo gets on it again, chips it in deep. Kwan, the first man after it. Hilltopper is able to hold the zone. Kwan bodies off his man. Vecchio fighting for the puck. Shift ahead and out. Almost picked off by Schultz. Now they'll wind it in again. Not a ton of high danger chances. Possibly one here, as no, it's centering attempts intercepted. Tarasu chips it ahead. He's one with his opposite numerical opponent in Jake Semser. Semser wins that one. Goldfire. Ahead, off a skate, never out. Plotnik in deep. Other side to the top. Zales, rebound, high slot. Good play to continue on by Jake Semser, the sophomore forward. Semser's pass off a skate, and Lancers will get it out with Plotnik now. Plotnik doesn't get a ton of ice time usually.
That was a strong run for him, though.
Drive on goal into the pad of Louiselle. Lots of back and forth here, Ryan.
Yeah.
Not a ton of sustained pressure on either side in the second period, besides for the power plays.
It's definitely slowing down a little bit. Obviously a 3-2 Lancers lead, but ever since the power play spurt, I guess you can call it, it's definitely slowing down the shots on goal, giving Turbin a little bit of a break. As here he actually might see a touch on the puck, so he'll let it go. No icing.
Conklin can't get it out. Off the stick of Schultz. Crowds have quieted here at Cody Arena as it's sent on goal. Off sides, calls the official. So the faceoff will come out with 3:11 to go.
3:11 left to go here in the second period. And Jacob, in the long change period, we haven't seen much difference, really, aside from the pressure, I guess you could say, in terms of the lines from both teams. We've seen similarities.
The lines have not been changed that much.
Livingston keeping their consistency. Summit, on the other hand, mostly consistency, but we've seen some line changes since the beginning of the year for them.
LaMelo fires in. Battle along the wall to the top. LaMelo, wrister, rebounds in front. Open net, ho! It was a chance couldn't be stuffed home by Steele, and now Turbin covers that one. A flurry of chances for the Hilltoppers to even this one up at 3. They could not. Puck is sent in deep. Shipped ahead. Back in. Good stick there by Dox to negate that chance. Puck, I thought it was going out, stays in play. Kwan lifts it ahead. Vecchio to Tarasuk, senior to freshman. Tarasuk, Reuben to the outside, lets one fly wide of the net. Vecchio had it squeak by his stick. Zales to Conklin. Grossbart sends in. Off a skate. Vecchio on the re-entry. Vecchio tries to chip it to Grossbart. Couldn't get it there. Oh, bad pinch by Conklin leads to an odd man rush. Lowry across, one-timer, potted by Chris Magover. Tage.
What a finish! 1-2 punch. The slap shot there was drawn up like art. Pablo Picasso is in the building.
Perfect saucer pass from Jake Lowry. That was all caused by the poor pinch by Brett Conklin.
Jacob, that one was dotted.
So, minute 53.
That was on the keel too, wow. What a finish. Goal of the game.
Yeah, perfect setup. Lance was trying to get one right back. Schultz tries to can't collect it back. He cannot. It'll come out for Dox, who's
house rules. You'd play that one on, but we're not playing house rules, Jacob. We're playing McInnes hockey, and this has been an exciting one. As I said, I marked this game down in the calendar last week when we said we were going to do it because I knew that Summit being red hot was going to challenge this Lancers team.
Yeah, Summit providing definitely more of a challenge than they did when these teams met earlier this year, as well as an icing call with 1:14 remaining. Lancers want to get one going.
.116 left to play here in the second. Well, Jacob, this period has turned into Summit's name. A big goal for them.
Shot off the draw by Vecchio was denied, controlled by the Hilltoppers now, and have an icing call. They sent it out. Too far for steal.
Jacob Conklin is going to have a lot of talking to do to his team. Puck from blue line to blue line, and then that goal, the 2-on-1, was really a killer.
Off the draw. Can't be held in by Zales. Dox ships it ahead. Lumello sends it back in. Dox to control. Vecchio spun around, gets it back. Off a pass that was a little hard to control for Zales. Excuse me. Sent back in. Zales to recollect. Now, Dox, the senior, one of the seniors honored here tonight. Odd man rushed the other way. Collected Magovern. Spinning away. Behind the net. Zales. Knocked off his stick. Winded around and out, and this period will end, Ryan, with these teams even at 3. As we'll head to our shorter 5-minute commercial break and be back for period number 3 momentarily. On the page on the NHS Network.
The North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute is the preferred practice for diagnosis and orthopedic treatment in New Jersey. From the moment you become a patient in our practice, our experienced team supports you until your full recovery with education, compassion, and understanding. Our focus includes sports injuries, as well as the treatment of a broad range of orthopedic complaints, from common tendon ailments and arthritic joint pain to traumatic injuries. Our facility offers an on-site physical therapy suite. In conjunction with specifically designed exercise programs, non-invasive and advanced healing technology, we can not only address the current injury, but also find the underlying cause, such as muscle weakness, imbalance, or improper form. We also offer non-surgical modalities, such as platelet-rich plasma injections, which can lead to an accelerated recovery. To provide efficient and excellent care, personal interactions and individualized attention for each patient is important. We are committed to create a protocol that can eliminate similar injuries in the future. At North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute, we are dedicated to providing the highest standard of care and comfort of athletes, including patients with non-related sports injuries. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist Dr. Michael Rusinella utilizes non-surgical and minimally invasive surgical procedures to help patients regain back their quality of life.
All right, this is Adam. Take two. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
The middle, barreling towards the goal line. Baldwin is in for a Vance touchdown.
Right down the middle, man. This guy, and he keep going, and he
the ball's loose.
And they hop back on it, and that's a touchdown.
Short punt, bounds at the 35, fielded at the 40 by Quick, out to the corner. He's got blockers and a lot of green grass in front of him. Cuts back, he's in for a touchdown.
Swing pass in the flat.
Gets to the corner, he's going to get in the end zone.
Touchdown.
Good job, block. Third down and 17, a handoff, getting to the outside. There's a hole, there's a first down, and all the way to the races is Elijah McWilliams to the house for a touchdown and for an IMEC for a division championship. Over to Floyd, he's open, thought about the three, drives, baseline. Oh, what a start for Corey Floyd! Free throw line, tries to dump a pass off, gets intercepted. Freeman all the way to the hole. Oh, what a block by Moore! Left to play in the fourth quarter. Cromartie, three, got it! Davis probed in the corner, three-pointer, up and down, Brown again! His second straight three. Roselle Catholic in a hurry. Wilcher, back to Bueno. He's going to try and tie it. And he does! Oh, big shots all around!
He can't get around, and a turnover. Corey Floyd has it. Step through, lay in, build the basket.
we're back for period number 3 here in West Orange, New Jersey at Cody Arena. Livingston Lancers, Summit Hilltoppers. It's been a good one here. 3-3, heading into period number 3.
This game is an absolute stunner and a classic, Jacob. 3-3 tie game. One of the hottest teams in the state of New Jersey versus one of the true top 10 best teams in the state of New Jersey, coming down to the wire. Third period in the ensuing moments, 3-3.
And since this is, in fact, an in-division game, Ryan, Livingston losing this one almost guarantees that top spot in the division to the Westfield Blue Devils.
Now, of course, there is one counter-argument to that statement, Jacob.
That they are playing each other.
If they beat Westfield, the second time straight, they might have this division. But in order for them to really go in there with the confidence instilled, they need to beat Summit.
Yeah. A tie won't do it. They have yet to actually lose, Ryan, to a McInnes Division team. They've tied twice as a shot off the outside of the post by Magover does not go. In the middle, Vecchio clears.
One little interesting statistic for you too, Jacob. They're undefeated at Cody Arena.
Undefeated out there. That's at the home rink. One loss came in the Holiday Classic tournament on the road.
Yes, it was at the Ice Vault of Wayne.
Against St. Joseph of Montvale.
That's correct. St. Joseph Regional School, struggling as of late, only 5 wins to their 12 losses and a couple ties on top of that one. They're falling behind in the Gordon Conference. That's the only team to have taken down the Livingston Lancers.
And 2 teams have tied them, though. That is the Glen Rock Panthers and the Governor Livingston.
And Jacob, just for your information, the Lancers actually have the second best record, I believe it is, in the state of New Jersey. Second best record, of course, not considering who they play, just in general. CBA still undefeated.
Shot on goal, held onto by Turbin. Yeah, CBA, as you said, Ryan, similar situation to that Cincinnati University was in terms of college football this past fall, where they just were undefeated, had to rank them. Puck is sent ahead. Silva and Schultz in the 2-on-2. Schultz lets one go off the pad, and a second attempt, and fought off well by Louiselle. Almost held in. Shipped ahead, not out. Rushmeyer. To the top. Rested by Goldfarb. Snagged and held onto by Zach Turbin. $13:39 in period number 3.
It's all coming down to the wire, Jacob.
A tie won't do it for the Lancers. They're tired of ties. They've had 2 on the air already, as we previously mentioned. Both 2 teams in their division. Dox's stick gets hung up on the boards. Has to play the puck differently than he would normally. Wrists are wired wide off the back of the net by Magover. Silva chips it ahead. Goldfarb.
Jacob, you can tell everyone watching just on their tips of their toes.
Now lots of people standing.
And, I mean, you can't blame them. This is a great game. This means a lot for both teams. If Summit wins, they can really go out to challenge Governor Livingston for maybe the 3rd spot in the division.
Grossbar to the outside. Sends in deep. Collected here by Goldfarb. Off the skate of Tarasuk. LaMelo had it knocked off his stick by Dox. Lowry in control. Oh, a chance there. Nice stick lift by Grossbar. He'll just chip in. He's forced to with Lowry in his face. Puck sent to the other side. Tuck takes a funky hop off the glass. Vecchio used for Tarasuk, who's bumped off the puck. Dox racing in deep for it. Other side. Goldfarb. Chipped not in by Conklin. And we'll have an icing call, tied with 11:52 to go. It's been a very slow-moving last, I'd say, 10-ish minutes of game time.
Yeah.
Lots of back and forth play in the neutral zone. Off the draw, turned over. Silva, he can groove. Behind the net, he does. To the top, nice feed. Conklin's shot is blocked. Shift ahead. Out of the zone. LaMelo, they are offsides. Face-off will come back to center ice.
Jacob, I think it's going to be soon established as we get closer to Cup hockey that VGR will be taking on next year, summoning Livingston twice. VGR is absolutely dominating the Kelly division, making it look easy.
And we see some VGR players walk by.
Yeah, I believe that is their JV team. They just played a JV game against West Orange.
Schultz tries to go inside, outside, he does. Can't get much further. Silva bodies Rushmeyer off the puck. Rushmeyer plays it ahead, not out. To the top. Selvin ships it in deep. Ahead. Picked up by Silva. He'll chip it out. Goldfarb. Ahead. Collected. Nice play. Defending by Docks. No penalty called there as Riggin was tripped up. Goldfarb. Other side. Selvin tries to defend. Klein fires off a skate. Tarasuk. Little inside move on Steele. Tarasuk lets one go wide of the net. Regathers it. Chips it to Vecchio. Vecchio high slot. Grossbar couldn't control it on his backhand. So it comes out for Conklin. It's Nathan Steele. Can't center it. Gloved by Turbin. And he will hold on with 9:51 remaining now. We'll see the Hilltoppers change.
So the Summit Hilltoppers will make a change on the ice. And, well, this is going to be big for him, Jacob. The new fresh legs out there, face off in the offensive zone. They're really trying to wear down Livingston. They have the momentum as they scored the most recent goal to tie the game 3-3 on what was really a dot pass.
Yeah, perfect saucer by Jake Lowry, who's on the puck now. Lowry has a goal and an assist tonight. Couldn't get the rebound. Magovern fakes the Michigan behind the net. To the top. Music starts playing by accident off a skate into the netting. So we'll have another stoppage. Livingston having a tough time controlling the puck tonight.
Yeah, they really have little miscommunications in the back as well, Jacob. But Vecchio's really that one player they got to give the puck to. He's really feeling it today. He had a great first period.
And a good second period, too, with that power play. Laser beam.
Yeah. Vecchio, a bright spot for this Lancers team. All 4 years he's been with the program.
Vecchio, nice play. Tries to chip it ahead to Cassesi. No icing. Waves the official. Behind the net, collected by Chong. Vecchio. Nice job to collect the puck. Tries to go short side upstairs. That doesn't go. Grossbard battling in the corner. Vecchio joins the fight. Grossbard can't win it back from Chong. Riggin dumps in. Cassesi. Nice little move. Pucked off his stick. Grossbard had it taken from him. Pat Lamillo. Stripped off his stick by Vecchio.
Jacob, we're getting some scrappy hockey right now.
Other way, Silva avoids taking a bigger hit than he could have. Silva levels number 6, Jake Semser. Schultz can't ship it by Lamillo. Conklin around the board. Sent in. Alex Selvin. Played it out. Lamillo banked it into his own bench and out of play with 7:29 to go.
Jacob, this third period, much like the ending moments in the second period, we really just have not seen many shots. It's been something that you could really tell Coach Dave Conklin has shown some frustration over.
Yeah, Summit has solved the Lancer. They've really shut them down.
And you know, Jacob, I've said the Summit would take this tie as a win in their book. They're playing a very high-level team.
No question, would be the third tie of the year for both squads. Vecchio stripped off his stick. Lowry, Jake Lowry cutting to the net on the backhand and fended off well by Turbin. Puck comes out. Grossbard can't control. Nice shimmy there by Jordan Lowry. Docks can't get it out. Grossbard on the second opportunity. Sees Tarasu get it to Vecchio. He's one-on-one, fended off well by his captain counterpart and Andy Lumello.
Vecchio had the lane, just couldn't juke out that last man right there. The presence from Lumello.
Sent to the other side. Docks banks to the head and down and out, and icing is called. 6:21 left now.
Jacob, I think that 1v1 there with Vecchio and Lumello is really going to kill the Lancers in the end. If there's a situation like that again, Vecchio has the speed and the agility. We know he's going to show it. He's a very talented ice hockey player.
Extremely talented. There's a reason he now has 33 points on the season. Just incredible. Taken by Chen.
And there's no question, you know, as they mentioned during senior night, Vecchio, by his teammates, asked to be the captain. Very special honor.
Sent in deep. Picked up by Docks. Other side. Stolen away. And sent across, and a wrist shot wide of the net. Looking for the redirection was Pat Lumello. Turned over. Steele chips it in deep. Well, we're going to have a penalty called. Elbowing. And a big power play here, Ryan. Lancers have been unable to kill off either of the penalties thus far. And now Docks heading to the box for possibly their biggest kill of the season.
This is huge. Jacob is going to open it up for Summit. And well, I'll tell you, Docks is going to assert his frustration. What do you think Livingston should do in this situation, Jacob? They just got to kill.
Yeah, possession as much as possible.
Yeah.
Don't let them goal. If you do, still have a little time left to even this game, but not something you want to happen. As fortunate bounce there off the stick of Dan Flame. Leaves it for Magover. He's leveled into the wall by Austin Vecchio. A punishing hit.
What a game he's been having, Vecchio.
Yeah.
He's really been the Lancer bright spot.
And if you would ask him, I'm sure he would say, I could do better. It's just what leaders do. Behind the net, Rushmeyer to the top, across, now Magover. Flames shot off Vecchio and cleared down the ice.
And into the bench.
By Quan, and yeah, into the Summit bench. So face-off will come back into the Lancers end.
And as we mentioned, Docs currently spending time in the box with the Lancers, an alternate captain. We haven't really highlighted him much today, but Docs, an alternate captain, two-sport captain, as a matter of fact, as he's committed to Ithaca College.
Yeah, for lacrosse.
Very special. Very special. And Jacob, lacrosse is very similar.
Just a pure athlete.
Yeah, a very similar sport to ice hockey in that sort of sense of hitting as well.
Flame to Mag over at the top, lets one fly wide. Quan gets on that puck and chips it out. Mag over in control, doesn't let it get all the way back in. Deflected in. Conklin to the wall. Steele behind the net. They're going to try to get that tic-tac-toe play going that they did on their first power play goal. Nice play to steal it by Tarasu. Schultz clears it down the ice. Livingston's got to change. Grossbart and Vecchio get out there. Sent ahead. Selvin. We have not seen Zales in a while. Quite a while, Ryan. I do not believe he is on the bench either. Not a good sign if you're the Lancers heading into these final few games. We've gotten to see, though, a lot more of Alex Selvin as he's on the ice right now. Grossbart knocked down, no call.
Selvin had his first career goal versus Princeton. Now he's flashing some key ice time.
Wrists are short side, held on to by Turbin.
You know, Jacob, I think the Lancers really want to put the puck on Vecchio's stick. Vecchio can move plays quicker than anybody else. They need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Austin Vecchio, a top player in the McInnes division, as I mentioned earlier. Definitely a real good chance of being first team all McInnes.
Definitely. A lot of Lancers, I think, they might really spill the first team all McInnes.
Yeah, Grossbart, Turbin, whistle blown. As down another Lancer. Shoved hard into the wall. Can't quite see who that is. Leave. That's Dylan Schultz. So not good for the Lancers. We'll be right back here when things get better.
The North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute is the preferred practice for diagnosis and orthopedic treatment in New Jersey. From the moment you become a patient in our practice, our experienced team supports you until your full recovery with education, compassion, and understanding. Our focus includes sports injuries, as well as the treatment of a broad range of orthopedic complaints, from common tendon ailments and arthritic joint pain to traumatic injuries. Our facility offers an on-site physical therapy suite. In conjunction with specifically designed exercise programs, non-invasive and advanced healing technology, we can not only address the current injury, but also find the underlying cause.
So we have an injury update. Officially out for the game is Ryan Zales.
He just walked right past us. Looks like Zales is not even on the bench.
No, he is not. Wearing his Lancer off-ice gear. Quan staying on the bench. He was the player that was injured, not Schultz. My apologies. Schultz just checking in on his teammate. So now,
nothing better than a little Mr. Brightside in the middle
Centering
of the
attempt in front. Just wide of the net. It's now extended ice time here for Mitchell Friedman and Alex Selvin as they look to close out this game strong. Wrists are off the pipe. Oh, a chance to take the lead late.
Jacob, that's that wide open hole right there that needs to be covered. We know Summit can finish on the 1-2 passes, so Livingston needs to limit the lanes as much as possible. If we need to man mark, that's what they got to do. If they got to man mark, they got to hold. They cannot lose this game if they want to win the division.
No.
Of course, they're looking for a win, but they could settle for a tie right here because they're playing Westfield in a week that could really assert their dominance. Of course, beating Summit here, though, would be the ideal key. But Summit really putting on the pressure right now to the fullest extent.
Sent ahead. Grossbart elects to continue on, not pass it to Tarasuk, knocked off his stick by Goldfarb. Ahead to Lowry. Lowry to Magovern. Now collected by Igor Tarasuk. He'll just send in less than 2.5 to go. They can't get it out. Sent across. High slot chance for Grossbarb. Didn't get a lot on the shot. Sent down and out. Oh, and good sign for the Lancers. Andrew Kwan back out there. Took a hard hit in the corner. But he's out there now to help defend this tie. Keep this game at least 3-3, maybe help it make it 4-3. Draws one back, Docks just has to whack it in deep. Goldfarb sends it down and out. And we'll have another icing call with 1:54 left. As Docks was the man who got there.
Coming down to the wire, Jacob, we really need to see more shots coming from Livingston. Shots limited in this third period. Not much pressure at all put on Louiselle. And remember, Louiselle only a freshman, Jacob.
Schrister wide by Vecchio. Sent across. Lumello. He'll send it wide. Steele. Can't get a stick on it. Will now. Steele in front. Rebounds loose, collected by Tarasuk. He'll wind it around and out. Pass. Sent in. Turbin. Trolls in the corner. Vecchio sweeps it to Tarasuk. Tarasuk has wheels. He'll chip it in deep. Hit hard. Clean check. No penalty call. Oh, punishing blow. Oh, man. What
Jacob, that literally shook the place. Wow. And we have an injured player. Hold on, Jacob.
Yeah, struggling to get out here with a minute left is Oge. That's Dylan Goldfarb, Ryan. That is not good for the Hilltoppers.
Jacob, that is why Jay Stocks, that is why Ithaca should be very excited for Jay Stocks. That lacrosse team is getting a hard hitter and a rock, because that hit was smooth.
Yeah, as I said before, punishing. Athletic trainer for the
craziest part about the whole thing, Jacob. Craziest part about the whole thing. There's no whistle. Livingston catches the break. It looked clean to me, honestly.
It was a clean hit. Nothing wrong with it.
At the level of high school hockey, you never know when the whistles come in. Nobody's perfect. We don't have instant replay, things like that. So whenever you see something like that, you know if a whistle pulls out. Take my meaning on that.
Yes, I understand. Goldfarb leaving the ice, not going back to the bench. Big loss for them. Co-leading point scorer along with Nathan Steele. Both forwards have 10 goals and 24 total points.
And this is why I say ice hockey might be the most dangerous sport, because when you're getting hit, unlike football, unlike wrestling, where you're falling on a mat, a foam mat, or you're falling on grass, or you're falling on turf, you're falling on a hard sheet of ice when you get hit like that. Hard sheet of ice. It's like falling on just a thick, thick, thick needle.
But nothing wrong with that hit, Ryan, with a minute left.
It was clean.
It was shoulder to shoulder. Clean hit. Big hit. Shook up Goldfarb. I'd expect him to be okay back for their next game. Goldfarb's coming back on the bench. As I say that, he's expected to be okay. Docks.
Jacob, this is at the prime last minute of hockey. No overtime. Until cup hockey here in high school.
Puck took a good bounce for the Hilltoppers. The other way, it's Lowry. Lowry across. Magover couldn't get a stick on it. Lowry is collected by Docks. Docks the other way for Vecchio. Vecchio sends it in further. Lumel battling with Vecchio and Grossbarb. Lowry trying to Magover. Behind the net, 20 to go. Crunch time. Lumello sends to the goal wide. At this point, Lancers going to be happy with a tie. Shot blocked. Vecchio clear. On goal, easily stopped by Luizal. So the Lancers will have to settle with their third tie of the season, third in-division tie of the season, more importantly, against the Hilltoppers. And you see Vecchio with his head down. He is not happy with the result of this game.
I will say, though, Jacob, that goes down as a classic. Summit fought hard. Livingston really fought, discovered a lot of new things as we're getting closer and closer to Cup hockey, but that will do it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us here in the doubleheader on the D1 page on the FHS Network. You can catch the first game of the doubleheader between the Nutley Raiders and the West Essex James Caldwell Knights on the on-demand function. Thank you for joining us for this game, though. 3-3 tie between the Lancers and the Hilltoppers. And thank you once again. Have a great rest of your evening.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play, Winston McCray. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. The